вас вітаю, shalom and welcome. My name is Alina Miropolsky. I'm a decision-making and spiritual coach. I offer decision-making coaching that helps my client make clear, intentional decisions, changes, and choices in their life. And one of the most important topics in decision-making coaching that I'm working with is personal relationships and dating coaching. I'm not a coach that is working with couples that have troubles. I'm a coach that is working with a person that is between relationships, needs to understand their priorities, their deal breakers, to have some strategies of dating and building new healthy relationships. And that is why I decided to talk about relationships today. It's a hot topic. Everyone has an opinion about relationships. Everyone has a lot of maybe beliefs about it, maybe some rules about it. And I want to talk about some tips that I think that if they will become sort of your rules, it will only benefit you. And as a disclaimer, I want to ask everyone to be open minded, not to be offended, not to take it personally, and try to think, is there something rational in it that I can learn from it and maybe use it in my life, instead of being anti and saying, no, I'm doing it different, doesn't matter if it doesn't work, but I will still continue doing as I do the same things 25 times and expect different results. Okay, so let's just dive in and be open-minded, not being offended. And it's not to blame someone and say that you're doing things wrong and this is how to do them right. This is just something I want to share, in hope that it will make your personal romantic life better. Okay, I created a list here. And yeah, I will be sharing all this and I will be making more videos on this topic. So please subscribe if you're not subscribed yet to my YouTube channel. Alina Miropolsky is a person of spirit YouTube channel. I also have an Instagram, but most important that you will subscribe here on YouTube and put the bell notification so you will know when new live streams are coming up. Please feel free to leave your comments, your questions. It will be very helpful for my future videos. And let's dive in. So the first thing that I want to talk about is probably the most important thing is, do not lose yourself in your new relationship. Have your own hobbies, your interests, your projects, maybe some volunteering, your career, your business, maybe, I don't know, a book club or any other clubs or hobbies or interests that you have. Yes, you need to have something in common, but also everyone needs to have something of their own. And I want to show here a good example of three main types of relationships and talk about it really briefly. Let me know if in comments if you need more information about it. So there are three main sort of interactions that we have with people. If it's like romantic relationships or just friendships, spending time together. So the first type of relationship is like this: when we have only one connecting dot that we have together, and when we lose this dot we basically don't have much what to talk about. It often happens to friendships or romantic relationships at work, in the army, in the college. When you have something in common, something one, like your job or your service or your learning experience together, or some hobby that you met based on this hobby, but you don't share much, if anything else. And if that little dot is taken away from the equation, so basically you don't have what to talk about and you don't have much in common. That is why often relationships that were based like this don't last much. They're not long lasting and they end after you lose this dot. You can think about maybe not romantic relationship, but very nice colleagues that you had at work, that you don't stay in touch with them after you move to another job, and yet you have this one or two colleagues that you did stay in touch with because you share other things in common and you have what to discuss, even if you don't have a same job anymore and there is nothing to discuss about previous job. You can discuss other things, the other hobbies and values that you share, other interests, and you continue to be in touch, while with other colleagues that were great people, you are not in touch anymore. Okay, another extreme is this thing when one person is fully absorbed by another person, which means that you share all interests of your boyfriend or girlfriend, your wife or your husband, and you don't have any of your own relationships, your own hobbies, your own interests, and you're all in. Maybe you even work in family business with your husband or with your wife. You share all their hobbies, you do all what they do, and you don't have any of your own interests. Maybe by your choice that you had this um, idea that this is how and this is what it means to be a good wife or husband, is to share all 100% of all hobbies, interests, career, everything with your spouse, or maybe the person you're dating or maybe the person you're married with is sort of demanding it. And we're talking here more about sort of abusive relationships, when your husband or wife doesn't want you to have any of your interests, hobbies, friends, career, anything. They want you fully to be in his or her life and sort of belong to him or her. This is very dangerous type of relationships. I'm not going to talk about it in details now because it will be entire video of, I don't know, 30 minutes or more. But pay attention to it. It's anyway voluntary or by some pressure. This is not healthy sort of relationships. And now let's talk about more healthy sort of relationship. This is this one when you have a lot in common, but you also have some things of your own. You have maybe separate careers, maybe you have some hobbies that you don't share, maybe you're in some club or some I don't know, volunteering project that you do, or maybe you're writing a book, or maybe you like painting and your spouse is not into it, and you have some things that you share, a lot of things that you share, a lot of things in common, and you also have some private interests or career or business or hobbies that you have of your own. So this is a healthy model of relationships, and this is basically something that we want to create when we are building new relationships. This is something I always explain my clients, and this is my plan for my coaching sessions, coaching programs for personal relationships. So this is something that I wanted to bring in here. It's very important, basic thing to know about building new relationships. The second thing is, as I told you, don't lose yourself and have some things of your own. It's also important not to cut off your family, friends once you get into relationships or get married. So this is also connected to this, and especially be very careful when you see that your husband or wife don't want you to stay in touch with your parents, with your siblings, with your very close friends. No one is good for them. Of course, when we get married or when we go deep into relationships, some of our other interactions with people change. Of course, there can be some one or two friends that really don't find common grounds with you when you're a married woman or married man. Um, and this is fine. Someone was, disrespectful towards your husband or wife. Of course, you need to stand up for your spouse. It's something else. But I'm talking about everyone. There are some people that don't like any of your friends, any of your relatives, your parents, your siblings, anyone, and they want you to cut connections. This is something very unhealthy. We don't want to come to this situation. And also, you need to have something of your own. At the same time, it's very important. to try to have good relationships with his or her friends and family when possible. So if you're getting into relationships that are getting serious, it's important to find some common grounds with your boyfriend or girlfriend, um, family and friends. It will make you closer to each other, and it will also help you to have more comfortable time around them, because you will celebrate some holidays, birthdays, and other stuff together. It also gives you an opportunity to meet nice people and create new meaningful relationships for yourself. I know even some of my clients got divorced and still had relationships with um, sister-in-law or brother-in-law, because they really became good friends. And it's always good for relationships, especially if you have kids and stuff like that in the future. But let's start from dating. And when we talk about dating, it's very important to know what are your must-haves and your deal breakers. And when I mean it, I'm talking about very crucial, very main, most important for you, uh, not every little thing, because perfect people don't exist. We are not perfect. Our spouses are not perfect. No one is perfect in this world. And perfect people don't exist. They exist only in our imagination. So it's very important to be realistic, but also at the same time to know what are my real must haves and what are my real deal breakers about relationship, about future partner before you start dating. Because when you start dating, you get emotional, you get excited, you want things to work, you want things to be good, and you're starting to negotiate with yourself in your mind, and you're starting to be more like forgiving things, and you say, "Oh, okay, it's maybe it's not that important." That is why it's not only important to know what are your main realistic deal breakers and must haves, but also have an argumentation for yourself why this is so important for me, why this is a crucial must have, a crucial deal breaker for me. And I recommend it also to have it in writing, like literally take a notebook and write it down. So you will be able to open your notebook when you need it and to see why this is important. Because when we are getting into relationships and something the person is very sexually attractive, or there are some very charming things about him or her that is really dragging our attention, we want to be together, we want to spend time with them. And of course, there's some hormones and there are some sexual attraction, and there are some hopes and expectations and desire to be close to someone and find your person. And then can really start playing those games with ourselves and negotiating and changing things. So it's important to have it written down. So if I'll say, okay, it's important for me that this is my deal breaker, that person that has this problem or issue or situation, I'm not willing to date with them and build a relationship with them. And then I meet this very attractive person that I really like. Things are working good. We have good chemistry, and everything is nice. And then I learn about this very problematic issue. And then I need to open my notebook and read why I said to myself when I was calm, neutral, had no relationship, and no emotional involvement, why I wrote this is my real crucial deal breaker. Or a person doesn't have something that is very important for me. I wrote that it's a crucial must have. Again, I'm opening my notebook and reading why this is so crucial. So it's important to be very realistic before we come in and don't write 100 points that you will not really follow when things will become real with a real person. So think really, really well, and it helps a lot and helps us to avoid massive time spending on relationships that will not work out for us, that will cause us a lot of pain, drag a lot of our energy and emotions. So it's very important to work on it really, really realistically and spend some time on it. And I even recommend to work with someone on it, preferably with coach that is working with topics of personal relationships and dating, with psychologist, with mentor, with someone of your choosing. But let's talk about something of our choosing. My next thing that I want to say, please don't be offended. Uh, don't take marriage and relationship advice from those who never been married or didn't live as a household with someone for at least 5 years. Better 15, 25 or more years, but at least, let's be minimalistic here, at least 5 years of functioning household life together person. And that's when not talking about teenagers. If you're teenagers and you have a friend that had 2 years of dating and going out with someone and you had none, it's pretty well to listen to him or her. What do they have to say, especially if their relationships were more or less functioning most of the time. But when I'm talking about more adult people that are after college, let's say, that some of people of their age already live together or are married. So when we're talking about, I don't know, age 25 plus, please do not take advice from those who never been married or never lived in a functioning relationships for 5 years or more. And when I'm talking about 5 years or more, I mean that most of this time was not toxic, abusive, very problematic relationships. Of course, all relationships had their ups and downs, their good and bad times. But if relationships are problematic all the time, they don't have this good times, it's an arranged marriage, for example, or it's a marriage that is very problematic, but people are not getting divorced because they are afraid, not do not know how to make decisions, waiting for children to go to college or stuff like that. And you know that their relationships are always very, very problematic, and in all stages they were very problematic for many years. So here you can maybe take advice of what not to do and ask them what ruined your relationships, what took this sparkle of love uh, from the equation and left you in this um, tense situation where you just waiting for children to grow up, or where you lost your love, your respect, your passion, your healthy relationship, your friendship, your love. You can ask them what caused the problems in relationships, but less ask them about things what to do, more ask them about things what not to do. Also, sometimes people are telling me that they blame their parents for having bad relationships because their parents had a non-functional marriage. Doesn't matter if they are still together or they got divorced. Here I'm telling you can still learn from this what not to do, what ruins their relationships. And even if you don't have a positive example of what to do, you still have some experience of things that you know that are harmful for relationships. And you will not learn from your parents, you will learn from someone else what to do, and you will find your way. But you still can learn about things that were done and were harming relationships. But anyway, it's such an interesting thing that people that don't have kids are usually not given too much advice on kids, or if they're giving, people are like reacting negatively to this. People that don't have driver license and are given advice on driving are getting negative reaction to the advice, and not much like people not really are like considering very deeply things they are recommending them. Of course, I'm not talking about professionals. Yeah, if a psychologist is talking about trauma and he or she doesn't have children and didn't had much interaction with, I don't know, younger siblings or nieces, uh, still there is something they can say. But I mean, just imagine that you have a 5-year-old child and your friend is the only child, never had any interaction with children, is telling you how to grow your child. You will be like, what? But when it comes to relationship, everyone are feeling very free to give advice on what to do. So don't be offended if you're one of those people that didn't have those long lasting relationships and living together experiences. But if you are, think maybe less giving advice to others, or telling them what not to do if you learn that you did something that ruined your previous relationships. And of course, if you're a person that is seeking for advice, so think what couples that have long-lasting relationships that works, that are functioning. Of course, everyone have their like bad days and have some conflicts in every relationship. Even if you see so-called perfect couple, they also have their disagreements and their issues and their conflicts. It's normal, but overall their relationships are functional and they're living together around 5 years or more. It's a good idea to ask them, one of them or both of them, some relationship advice. But yeah, be careful whom you ask. And of course, when working with professional, I would suggest, it's my personal opinion about every profession, that the professional that is providing services on this or other matter should have some personal results in this matter. It's not someone who's teaching you about the diet and is overweight professional. It's kind of questionable if I want to go to the specialist. Also, someone who's working with relationships and never had functioning relationship more than 5 years or ever, also not a very good choice. So yeah, it's good to know a little bit of background and personal experience of professional you will be working with. Let's see if I forgot something important to say. So we talked about not taking advice from people that don't have experience in living together in a good relationship for some time. Don't lose yourself. Create good relationship with your husbands or wives, family and friends. Know your real must-haves, and know why those must-haves are important. And last but not least, thing that I want to mention, it's a big topic. I will be making a separate video about it, and please don't be offended again if you do it. So there is no need like to hide anyone, to hide your new boyfriend or girlfriend, but also there is no need to introduce your new boyfriend or girlfriend to your friends and your family immediately, until you see that your relationships are more than just casual, and until you see that you're falling in love and it's sort of mutual and you develop feelings to each other and you're talking about it openly, not I feel like that and she looked at me or he looked at me and I think the way she looked at me or he looked at me means they feel the same. No, I mean, you openly communicate that I like you. I'm feeling, I'm developing feelings to you. I'm feeling more attached. Um, I think I'm falling in love with you, stuff like that, when you're verbally discussing it, and when it's not a secret, when it's something open. There are many reasons why you shouldn't do it. Uh, and I would just say this, just trust my advice. But I don't like saying things like that. So I will give you some examples, and I will be filming a bigger and better separate video on this topic. Why not to do it? And first of all, it's just a waste of time and unnecessary communication. You just started dating. You probably want to spend some time together, and not to introduce him or her to people. Maybe it will be one time meeting. Maybe you will, maybe you will not develop your relationship, because relationships that just started, maybe they will not last. So it's sort of waste of time, unnecessary communication for your family and friends with this new woman or man. If you're not go- if it doesn't look yet that you're both going deep into the relationships and you're interested one to another. Another thing, it creates sort of pressure, because it's often a sign that you see those relationships as something that is becoming more permanent and real and serious. And when you're inviting your new boyfriend or girlfriend to go to an event, or to go to a birthday party, or to go to, I don't know, to watch a soccer game with your friends or family, it can be sort of like pressure on your girlfriend or boyfriend, and they may like feel that they are like a little bit pushed to do a next step. They can even feel that it's sort of a little manipulative, or they can feel that it's a very big step and you really want to be with them, and it can lead to misunderstandings, because maybe they are super excited and you didn't meant too much by inviting them. It's also, if they will understand it, it will make them feel that you're not serious about relationships with him or her, or in general, that it doesn't mean much for you to introduce him or her to your close circle. Also, do we want it or not, even if our family and friends are best, most understanding people, subconsciously we create an impression that we are not very selective or serious, and will invite a stranger to their home or gathering. I know it can be annoying what I'm saying now. People can be irritated and say, no, my friends are not like this. My friends are not judging me. They will not think about me. It's things like that, what I was saying. Yes, maybe you have most understanding, loving friends, and many of us do, and this is blessing from above. But still, if you show up again and again with another person, and then this person disappears after one or two gatherings, and then you show up with someone else, it's like Pavlov dogs, it's like a basic behaviorism. People will learn that it doesn't mean much. It's just one more guy. So they will, or one more girl. So they will see that it's not serious. It doesn't mean anything, and they will also, do they want it or not, they will treat this person as nothing special. And when you're coming to someone's family gathering or friends gathering, and you're not treated as someone special, as not a big deal, because they saw 20 people before you, the person will feel it when you meet your person, your future husband, your future wife, and they will be 25th person to come visit. Believe me, they will feel that they're not special, and you want your special person, when time will come, to feel special and important for your friends and family when they come to meet them. Basically, what I want to say here is that part of being intentional in relationships is recognizing when a connection had earned a place in your inner circle. Hope it makes sense. So that was a lot, I know, and more will come. Please let me know in comments what things do you want me to talk to you about in more details. And please feel free to contact me if you're interested in one on one coaching sessions related to personal relationships and dating coaching. Thank you for watching this video. See you next